What do you do when you wake up? Do you get out of bed, shower, go to school? What if I told you that when you woke up, you couldn't find any of your basic necessities? No food, no water, no soap. Living in the dark for the most of your day because of energy shortages. Imagine that you live in the most dangerous city in the world, where 1 out of every 1,000 people are slaughtered. That you couldn't walk down the street because if you did, you most likely get robbed, kidnapped, or even killed. That you had to leave your country because it was too dangerous to live in. But what if I told you that you couldn't? This is the daily life of 32 million Venezuelans. I was lucky enough to leave in time, but they, my friends, and my family were unable to do so. In my country, Venezuela, as you might have assumed, there's a problem. But this isn't just any problem. This is a humanitarian crisis. It is a crisis that has been going on for far, far too long, killing too many to count, and the demand for change is urgent. I didn't come to the stage only to tell you why my country is this way, or what is happening. I came to tell you my personal story. Most importantly, I came to tell you how you can help. In order for you to understand my story, you must understand my country's history. You must understand what was once the richest country in Latin America was led to ruins and chaos. The main cause of this was the fall of oil prices in 2014 and the economic mismanagement. Venezuela has the world's largest reservoirs of oil, and its economy is almost completely dependent on this natural resource. So when the barrel of oil was over $100, PDVSA, or Petróleos de Venezuela, the state-owned company uses money for social programs, such as food subsidies or housing for the poor. When the fall of oil prices came, these subsidies became unsustainable. And Venezuela's budget for social programs completely dried up. And according to Ecoanalítica, the imports to the country have decreased by 15% since 2016, leading us to the current situation in my country: the famine, the lack of goods, and the desperation of the citizens. In 2015, this was normal to me. It was my life. My mom could only go to supermarkets on Fridays since her ID ended in 9. People waiting in line for 3 hours just to enter to a supermarket and find absolutely nothing. Now, if I were to return to Venezuela at this moment, I could probably find us food. However, I would be unable to afford it. The current minimum wage in Venezuela is 797,000 bolivares, which, when we estimate it, is around $4.5 a month. So, according to the International Monetary Fund, food prices are about 5 times this amount. And the country is experiencing hyperinflation. As of 2017, the country was experiencing an inflation rate of 2,616%. A kilogram of meat costs 230,000 bolivares. So that is around $1.4. If we take that, having the minimum wage, 1 kilogram of meat would be around 28% of your minimum wage. So food is unaffordable. What happens? Well, since people cannot buy food, they starve, leading to more and more cases of malnutrition. A survey found that 72.5% of respondents reported losing weight in 2016, losing an average of 8.7 kilograms. And another survey that was conducted by Venezuela's 3 major universities found that 32.5% of respondents reported eating 2 or fewer meals a day. Therefore, it is estimated that 9.4 million Venezuelans eat 2 or fewer meals a day. However, starvation and malnutrition are not the only causes for concern at Venezuela in this moment. Another cause for concern: security. Some days I was unable to attend school because of how dangerous the streets were. The streets were usually dangerous because of the marchas, or protests. These were directed by a group of people who walked peacefully down the street. And in exchange, they received tear gas, pellets, and bullets, killing around 120 people. That is not the only thing that's happening. In Venezuela, we cannot find medicines since three years ago. Basic medicine, such as antibiotics and antihypertensives. We can take the famous case of Susana Duby. She was the first Miss World to be Venezuelan in 1955. She died of a stroke. Now, why did she die of a stroke? Well, it's pretty simple. Susana had to take antihypertensives. And since in Venezuela, there were no antihypertensives, she couldn't take them for more than a month, leading her to her death. Now, Susana is not the only case. There are thousands of other anonymous cases in Venezuela at this moment. Likewise, we can take the case of renal patients. According to the Association of Renal Patients of Venezuela, 17 patients have died last week because there was an absence of filter for the hemodialysis treatment. Also, oncology patients. I can tell you this by personal experience. Oncological patients cannot find chemotherapy treatment since 18 months ago. Why can I tell you this personally? My grandmother is sick of cancer. More specifically, she has colon cancer. So I have to take her medicine from Colombia and ship it all the way to Venezuela because she cannot find it. However, she is lucky because thousands of other patients do not have the opportunity from receiving treatment from abroad. And in these patients, we can include children. I realized afterwards that this is something a 12-year-old girl should not live through. But I did, because I was forced to accept such conditions, because there was simply no alternative. Thousands of children in Venezuela take being malnourished as something normal, and the dangerous streets as just something not out of the ordinary. This happens too often. My country, my nation, became from being united to two separate groups, filled with anger and filled with hate. So my family made the decision to move, to look for a better opportunity for me. And I'm incredibly fortunate for that. But thousands of, or millions of people aren't able to do this. So I feel like it's my responsibility to inform you what is happening. Because those who want to speak in my country cannot do it. Because all opinions are shut down. So if no one talks about it, then how can we make a change? If I can change one of your opinions, just one, at the end of the speech about Venezuela, then I will make a huge impact. Because that is what we need to make a change. We need to be the voice of Venezuela. Which is why I'm speaking to you. Venezuela needs your help. You can help by taking action or donating. You can not only donate your time and also donate monetary resources. Donating is one of the most essential parts of society, changing the lives of others by providing goods and services and those in need. Where one of the smallest donations can make a huge impact. I stand here to be the voice of those who are not heard. I stand here to show that my country can prosper back to its golden years. I stand here to demonstrate that any change is possible. The question is, will you be a voice of Venezuela? Thank you.